Hey y'all, thank you for tuning in. This channel isn't for everyone. I'm Christian, I'm black, I have vitiligo, I'm a business owner, I'm a content creator, I'm in my 20s, I'm a normal person. I have a bunch of different hats. I cannot conform to just one type of content. But if any of this is relatable, feel free to stick around. Welcome to the Evelyn Chanel's world. There's room for you. Hey y'all, it's your girl, the Evelyn Chanel, and as you can tell by that title, this is a life update. Yeah. So I'm gonna get straight to it. I'm not even gonna say it and say I'm not gonna hold y'all long because I talk a lot. We know this by now, but yeah, this is gonna be one of them videos, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to show a lot of emotion, and I do my best to cut it down, but it is what it is. I did not want to come back and continue to give y'all videos of me being emotional and sad, or anger or anything like that. I wanted to show y'all more upbeat, more positive stuff. But my life has not been upbeat and positive for a while, if I'm being honest. Um, every day has been a struggle to be happy and just continue to push through because a lot of stuff has happened. Some stuff I've shared with y'all and some stuff y'all don't know about because I did go ghost, but I'm here explaining. And honestly, I've tried to record a life update for y'all. I think this is the third time I've recorded, no, third, fourth, one of those times I've recorded one, but I could not bring myself to edit and post them. To make a long story short, it has been pretty hard for me to stay motivated lately. Um, so yeah, but I'm gonna take it from the beginning of the year and we're gonna work our way to where we are now. This is not how I wanted to start Vlogtober, Evetober, and at this point today, in the mind state that I'm in now, there probably won't be videos every day consecutively, and that's not what I wanted. I wanted this year to be different. I wanted to post a video every day. I wanted to be on track. I want to show you guys a different side. I wanted to show you guys grind mode. I wanted to show you guys adult the Evelyn Chanel, but I still feel like I'm stuck in a childish mindset, um, but we'll get there. So let me just, go from the beginning. And one thing I do want to say is I have recorded so much, so much footage for you guys, whether it was IBS, whether it was my weekly vlogs I had started, whether it was Kicked Out Chronicles, or just random vlogs. I had recorded so much footage, but because I could not bring myself and get the motivation to record, or not record, but edit these videos and get them posted, you guys did not see them and you won't see them because this morning I went ahead and deleted everything. I'm in a mindset right now, I don't even know if I want to continue YouTube. And two, if I do, I feel like I just need to go ahead and get a fresh start. And so I feel like that was the best decision for me to make, so that way my phone is not overcrowded, with memory or whatever like that. So we're just gonna start fresh. I did save a few videos that I could use, but for the most part, I got rid of them. So like I said, let's just start from the beginning. Well, we could start from a year ago, exactly, or almost a year ago from today. So if you guys do not know, I moved into an apartment by myself last year, and I kind of vlogged it. I kind of talked about it. I think you guys kind of saw, clips of me being in that apartment, but I didn't really go into details about the process of that. And I feel like just as soon as I got it, it was gone. So yeah, so the apartment before that I was living in, it was actually supposed to be like a what do you call it, like one of those apartments where you share the common areas. So you pay by room and you share the common areas. And I did have roommates, but because of, you know, COVID and stuff like that, when I did move into my apartment in 2020, most of my roommates, they weren't there. And when they did come back, most of the time what they were doing was coming in to get, you know, their stuff or to move out, honestly. Like, they weren't really there. I saw them maybe a few times, and yeah, I think, you know, that was when I first started my YouTube channel, so I think you guys know a little bit about that, but I didn't go into details. And I wanted to do a story time. Today, you guys were supposed to get a story time. Not that particular story time, but I was going to give you guys story times. I was supposed to do a story time about that whole debacle, because that in itself was just too much. So I was happy, of course, to get out of that 2021. I was happy to get out of that apartment. And the new apartment, I got it by myself. I didn't need a guarantor. My credit, you know, and I was excited. I was proud of myself because I felt like, you know, I had done something. I think I touched a little bit on this in Kicked Out Chronicles, maybe the parts of it that you guys did see, if you guys did watch it. But yeah, so, you know, I was proud of myself because I felt like, you know, I was finally starting to be an adult. I was able to stand on my own 2 feet. I didn't need anyone else's help, and I was about to prove myself wrong. You know, of course the doubters wrong, of course, you know, the naysayers wrong, but I was about to prove myself wrong, because for the longest time I didn't feel like I would be able to do it, if I'm being honest. So I was proud of myself. I was happy that I was given this opportunity to stand on my own 2 feet and feel like I'm doing something. So yeah, I moved into the new apartment, you know, and I'm there for a couple of days. I got this new job, and I started out at $14 an hour, but it was a work from home job. That's a story within itself. I had my businesses, you know, and I felt like life was looking up. That's what I feel like. So around, well, if I'm being honest, around August, September, October, the months leading up to my birthday, it always seems to be something that is going on, that is going wrong, that is happening. Almost kind of like a dark cloud, if you will, right before my birthday. And for the life of me, I really wanted to break whatever cycle that was, you know, or whatever like that. But here we are. It is October 1st. If you guys do not know, my birthday is October 21st. And 20 days before my birthday, and this is what we're going through. And I just mentioned that for a reason, because like I said, it always seems like something happens around this time. So I moved into my new apartment, you know, last year, and I'm excited. But then life starts to take a turn. If y'all do not know, I ended up losing my dog last year. And he was in my hometown, and the story that was told to me was he got loose. The same day that I was told that he got loose, I was there. That wasn't the first time my dog had gotten off his chain. But regardless whether he was here in Oxford with me or he was in Columbus, anytime he got off his chain, he knew how to come back home. But this particular time, he didn't come back. And I had Bentley when I first moved to Oxford. So about 5-6 years, he was here waiting on me. So that within itself took a toll on me. And it hurt. It hurt because I look at my pets. If y'all don't know, I look at my pets as like my kids. And that was another thing that I felt like I couldn't manage. I couldn't, what's the right word? I couldn't take care of, you know, or whatever. And by that time, of course, I had 2 dogs, if you do not know. I have another dog, but I was still, you know, I was getting ready to bring Bentley up here with me, honestly. I had just taken him back home after an appointment. He had been up in Oxford with me for a couple of days, and I had just taken him back to Columbus from an appointment or whatever. It was just something else to add on, not to mention other things that I had going on in my life during that time. And it was just rough. And that alone, it did something to me, because at the end of the day, that was my baby. Regardless if he was with me or if he was at home, still, you know. So that happened. The job that I was working, I wasn't really happy working there. Of course, the pay was good, but I wasn't really happy working there. I wanted to build my own brand. I wanted to build my own business at that time, and yeah, it was just a lot mentally, and me not being where I felt like I wanted to be in life. So that leads up to me, you know, eventually ended up losing my apartment or whatever like that. I talked about that, and I went into details about that in Kicked Out Chronicles. So if you want to know more details about that, that's there. But I kind of just wanted to give a gist. So we're working our way. I ended up moving out of my apartment the beginning of January, and I had to go back home. And being back at home, or even the idea, before I had even accepted the fact that I was going to have to go back home, being back at home didn't sit well with me. I felt like I was going back home with nothing under my belt. And my apartment was one of the only things that I felt like really made me feel established, because it was something that I had. Of course, I had my businesses, but my businesses weren't bringing in the traction that I felt like they should have been bringing in. And that whole little process within itself took a toll, and still takes a toll on me, because like I said, the situation itself was messed up. And hindsight, looking back now, I see I needed to come home for a reason. But even still, with that, the way that things went about, it took a lot out of me. And when it comes to insecurities and self-doubt, it took a lot out of me. To have to go back home and to feel like I had nothing to show for the time that I was gone. So, yeah, we do that. But even still, I go home and I'm trying to put on a brave face. I'm still trying to go out there and get it. I'm still trying to, just at that point, take myself serious, take my business serious, take my brand serious, or whatever. Like, using that time to actually just do what I feel like I can do. So I ended up starting doing weekly vlogs with you guys, because I think right when I started weekly vlogs, when I had the idea to start weekly vlogs was becoming something bigger on YouTube. And one thing that I feel like happens is, a lot of time when I have the idea to do certain type of videos, or something like that, all of a sudden it becomes a trend. And I beat myself up, because it's just like, had I been adamant, had I been listening to that little voice in the back of my head, maybe I would be further than what I am now. And I want to say, like I always say, I did not start my YouTube to make money off of it or whatever like that. But of course, that would be something beneficial to come from that. I started my YouTube to show you guys, which is why I'm really sitting here in front of this camera now, but to show you guys real life problems, real life situations, and how I'm overcoming them. So here we are. But if you have been through any of the things that I've gone through and that I've shared with you guys, then I'm pretty sure you know that it's not easy. And today is one of those days where it's not easy at all. The past couple of days have been days where it has not been easy. If I'm being honest, it has been extremely difficult. So I come back home, and I'm still, even though I'm still feeling this self-doubt and still feeling like I'm less than, if I'm being honest, and looking at my counterparts and trying to figure out what am I doing wrong for me not to get there. I'm still grinding, I'm still pushing, I'm still trying to encourage the people around me. I'm still trying to put people on to the game that I don't even have. You know, I'm still trying to encourage other people. Even when I'm lacking, even when I feel like I don't have much to give. And I feel like that's a reoccurring theme in my life, pushing and pouring into people when I'm empty. And I know, you know, some people say, well, that's the perfect time to do it. When you feel empty, you continue to pour in people because God will continue to pour into you. But if I'm being honest, y'all, I'm tired. I'm really, really tired. So I started my weekly vlogs. And even though I was going through the process of being, you know, kicked out of my apartment, I didn't share that with y'all until a couple of months later. But I still have been recording that process, recording how I felt, you know, recording updates within that and how I was feeling in those moments, to just be transparent about that particular situation. Now, do I believe that I owe people the right to everything in my life? No. But I do feel like we go through certain instances, and I say this all the time, we go through certain instances of situations, and we don't go through them just for ourselves. We go through them to help other people. And so, Kicked Out Chronicles, me being as vulnerable as I was, that was me hoping to help someone else that may be going through something similar, whether they were kicked out because of a similar situation or they were kicked out of for a completely different situation. Regardless, you know, feeling those feelings, those emotions that I felt, I wanted to share those because I knew somebody would be able to relate to that, and not only relate to that, but get a sense of hope, because if she can do it, I can do it too. So before I started Kicked Out Chronicles, I started my weekly vlogs, and you know, I explained to you guys that soon I would be able to tell you guys, but I just wasn't ready to be open about that. Because like I said, to someone else it may be small, but when you feel like you finally made it, you finally doing something, and in just as fast as you got it, it's gone. Something like that is snatched away from you. To y'all, it's an apartment. You know what I'm saying? To me, it was an accomplishment, and it hurt. It took a toll. So I needed a minute, and you know what I'm saying? I needed a minute to gather my thoughts, gather myself to share that. I'm doing my weekly vlogs, you know, and I'm going through day-to-day life with day-to-day troubles, and I'm processing, you know, being kicked out as well. I started the weekly vlogs, and mind you, by this point, I don't have a job anymore. All I have are my businesses, so I'm trying to push out my business, trying to promote my businesses, you know, or whatever like that, to have some source of income. So I start, you know, Kicked Out Chronicles. And before I start Kicked Out Chronicles, I believe I started IBS, and IBS is my independent Bible study or whatever. And I feel like that was something that God laid on my heart to do, just to go and dissect the Bible in its plainest, purest form. Is basically what IBS was. It wasn't me getting out here and preaching. I go through that. I don't even know, honestly, the last couple of videos you guys have seen. So much has happened. Some I recorded, some I didn't. So much has happened, I don't even know what you guys do and don't know. So we move on to the summertime, and I started taking care of my grandmother. I do remember that I did post my first day off my new job with me, and the reason I called it a new job is because technically it is a job. My family does pay me to do that, but it is a job. Like it's it's a task. Taking care of another human being. A lot of times I find myself, and people like to call me selfish, they like to call me spoiled, they like to call me self-centered. I'm all of these things, but I always find myself putting my own emotions and how I feel on the back burner to make sure that everyone else around me is okay. That everyone else around me is not inconvenienced for as much as I can. Not to say that I don't make mistakes. Not to say that I'm not perfect. But the times when I don't open my mouth and say something are the times usually when I should say the most. So I sucked it up because I knew that my folks needed help, you know, whatever. And so because I was working on my own business and my own brand, I knew that I would have a little bit more access to some, you know what I'm saying, access than someone that is working a normal 9 to 5. With me, because of my business, because I am my own boss, if I need to step away or if an emergency happens, I can do that more freely than my mom having to get off of work. You know what I'm saying? So I became a living caregiver for my grandmother. I don't want to go into too much detail about that because that's still a family thing, and if the time comes, then I'll make a whole separate video about that. But I became a caregiver, and one thing that I will say is you don't realize how much it takes to be a caregiver until you are in those shoes. You know what I'm saying? You don't understand the tasks that had to be completed, the in and that, you know what I'm saying, the in and the ins and outs of it, the detailing in between, you know what I'm saying? You don't understand how much it takes to do that. I don't want to say the burden because I don't want to make it seem like it's a burden. But it's a lot. I would say it's a lot because essentially someone else's life is in your hands. So that's a lot to carry. Not to mention, at this point, I am facing my childhood trauma straight on, like head on, in the house that it happened. And I actually had people tell me that I was soaking in my misery. And that's easy for someone to say when they're on the outside looking in. But what people don't take into account, because some people, they just don't care. If I'm being completely honest, I would be stupid to think that even everybody that's going to watch this video cares about what I'm going through. You know what I'm saying? Or how I'm processing things. But for me to be told that I'm sulking or waddling in what I'm going through when people don't take into account every factor that's involved. So let's talk about it. I'm already feeling probably a sense of self-pity, a sense of self-doubt, a little, you know what I'm saying? It's affecting me from me already feeling like I'm less than, or that I won't be able to accomplish anything on my own. And so you come into that, you know, you have to come home, and then the burden of me, and this is why I'm breaking it down to you guys so that you can understand better of where I am in the headspace that I am now. So all of the things that I told you guys previously to me even becoming my grandma's full-time caretaker are weighing on me. All those things are taking a toll. I have to consider all those things, juggle all those things, and all of those things are in the back of my mind. And then I come home, and I take over the responsibility of being a caregiver to someone who I felt like for the longest didn't even love me, if I'm being honest. And I'm having to look that person in the face every day, but not just that person in that same environment. So it's like, in a sense, you get up and you relive it and you relive it and you relive it and you relive it. And I would be a liar not to sit here and say this. It's been plenty of times where I thought about saying, you know what, I can't do this. But in the back of my mind, I kept telling myself, well, maybe this is God trying to heal the child in me, or one of his ways of healing the child in me. So I have been trying to ride it out. But like I said, I would be a liar to sit here and act like it hasn't been a lot on its own. And somehow, I still managed to push through. And if ain't nobody else proud of me, I can say that I'm proud of myself for getting as far as I did. Because it has been difficult. It has been a task. It has been stressful. It has been tiresome. And no one gets to take that away from me. No one gets to tell me that, oh, you're just sulking or you're being over dramatic. No, because if you were put in my same shoes, you would fold. People like to downplay what you're going through in your situations or whatever like that, or they like to throw in the fact that, well, there's someone out here that has it worse. And that's fine. That's perfectly fine, but you don't get to dwindle down someone else's trauma or someone else's situations because someone else has it worse. Okay? Maybe it's not that bad to you, but I'm pretty sure that if you had to be put in the same situation, a lot of people that be talking to you and telling you that the situation could be worse probably wouldn't make it. Or two, or you would be feeling the same way that I'm feeling. So it's just like, I tried to tune a lot of the things that people say out, but in the same breath, I would be fake to say that it doesn't dwell in the back of my mind sometimes. So, like I said, I'm doing that. I become a caregiver, and if I do say so myself, I have been doing a damn good job. Because if I'm being honest, and anybody can attest for that has been around, my grandmother has did a complete 180. A complete 180, and I won't take all the credit for that. But what I will say is, I am the one that's I am the one that's there day in and day out. You know what I'm saying? So I do feel like some of their progress has come from, God, of course. All of it has come from God, but some of their progress has come from the things that I've done myself. You know what I'm saying? I think it's okay for me to pat myself on the back, especially with me facing the things that I've faced. So, yeah. During that time, though, I started to take a step back from YouTube. And yeah, I started taking a step back from YouTube. I was trying to get caught up on videos. I had missed a few weekly vlogs, and it was just a lot. And of course, that self-doubt starts to set back in, and me feeling like, well, maybe I am incapable of juggling all of this stuff, Maybe I did bite off more than I could actually chew. But I was still trying to manage. As you can see, I didn't do a very good job because at this point I feel like I completely abandoned my YouTube channel. But I was trying. I really was trying. There were so many videos, so many weekly vlogs, so much stuff that I wanted to share with you guys. So, and it's crazy because I feel like every time life threw something at me, it hurt. I sat in it for a minute, but the next minute I was thinking of a plan to come back from that. I was always thinking of a plan, always thinking of another alternative, always thinking of, okay, so what's the next step? You know what I'm saying? Trying not to suck, trying not to wallow in it, trying to make sure that I do become somebody that I can be proud of. But it seems like every time I tried to put my best foot forward, something else happened. Something else happened. It's always something. It's always something. And any planning, anything of that, it didn't matter anymore. So, you know, I'm trying to get back on track. I know that my birthday is coming up. I know that I want to get back on YouTube. I want to start recording again. I know that I want to see more come from my businesses. I want to see more come from my brand. I wanted to step into who I thought God was calling me to be, you know? Because a part of me honestly and truly did believe that maybe this is something that he wanted me to do, wanted me to be successful in. So I'm trying, I'm planning, I'm thinking. But if I'm being honest, I'm exhausted. I was exhausted then. I'm still exhausted now. I remember, say, a couple of weeks, I couldn't even bring myself to get up in the morning. My grandmother has a nurse that comes in every day. And they usually come in the morning. What they do, they come in the morning or whatever, and they come sit with her. And during that time, it's just time for me to, you know, work, run errands, do stuff that I need to do for, you know, her, the house, my business, anything. I do that during that time. And I remember for quite a few weeks when that nurse would come in, I would just sleep. I would just sleep. And I would just sleep. And honestly, it was because I wasn't getting no sleep at night. And one thing that I can say is I'm really thankful for my grandmother's nurse, because she has become one of my good friends, and I hope this don't get her in trouble. But that's one thing I can say that I'm grateful for. I can say that I'm grateful for her and a lot of the people that I have in my life right now, because had I not gone through some of the things that I would have went through, the circle that I have around me, I wouldn't have them. And I would still have people around me that didn't mean me no good, or would be holding on to my coattail looking for the next come up. You feel me? Or just trying to get whatever they can out of me because they know I'm a giver. I'm really thankful for her because she has encouraged me more than I think she realized. And I brought it up because even she could see, you know what I'm saying? She could see the potential. She could see where I wanted to go because we have conversations. Not had, but we have conversations now. And she could tell just how tired I was. And I was really tired. I wasn't sleeping at night because if I'm being honest, I would be scared sometimes that I would wake up and my grandma wouldn't be there no more. If you guys understood just how far my grandma came, you will understand what I'm saying. Regardless of the things that I've gone through with her, regardless of the things, you know, the way I feel like she has hurt me, I still didn't want that for her. Regardless of me feeling for years that my grandma didn't love me, I still loved her. You know, I still cared about her. And that's just not something that I want to see. That's just not something that I wanted to have to report back to my family. That's just not something that I wanted to go through. And so I would, you know, I would have my dog there, and my cousin would be there, and I still wouldn't sleep through the night because as much, and I want to make this clear. One thing that I pride myself on doing when it comes to negativity and negative thoughts and negative hearsay and putting that negativity into the atmosphere about my grandma, I was a stickler about it. Don't say that. Don't think like that. Don't come in here with that energy. Don't talk to her crying. Don't be over her doing that, because that's the last thing she needs to see. If she's going to continue to fight, then we got to fight with her. And I tell my grandma all the time to this day, if you want to fight, I'm going to continue to fight with you. As long as you don't give up, I won't give up. But I would be a liar I would be fake. I would be phony to sit here and act like there were plenty of nights where I just knew I would wake up in the morning and she wouldn't be there no more. Did I voice it? No. Did I say anything to her? No. Because I'm adamant about that. Because I understand that forget me as a caregiver, but as an elderly person going through something like that, that's the last thing you need to see. Half the time, I'm pretty sure they're confused and they're trying to figure out what today is, what time it is, how they even got here, you know what I'm saying? Because they come and go sometimes. You know, especially when they have memory issues. So it's just like, I know that that's already taking a toll on her mentally. Why would I add something else to that? So it was a fight with myself every day. It has been a fight with myself every day. You feel me? Regardless of how I feel, sometimes I had to take the back burner. But because I gotta make sure that she's still alive, and not only alive, but she's here, she's well. That she feels like her family cares about her. And even if it ain't her family, that she feels like I care about her. You know what I'm saying? Because God allows a lot of things to happen for a reason. And I just wouldn't be right as a caretaker if I didn't do my job to its fullest potential. Not to say that I don't get tired. Not to say that I don't mess up, because I fuck up just like the next person. But that's one thing that I just don't play about. Like, we not going to be negative. You know what I'm saying? We going to be positive. We going to make sure she getting the nutrition and stuff that she need. We not going to play with it. You feel me? But like I said, I still had those thoughts and that doubt in the back of my head myself. And that took a toll on me. I just want to stop and say that your mental health is important, okay? We all need someone to talk to. We all need someone that we can vent to with confidence. We all need an outlet. And I'm saying this is coming from somebody who I vent, I say stuff, but when it comes to really opening up my mind, because of the things that I've experienced, because of the things that I've gone through, I'm only going to let you peek aside just a little bit. But it has been hard. It has been really, really hard. You know, life in general has been hard. Not just me being a caretaker. Life in general has been hard. Me having to face my own demons have been hard, because it's days where I feel like they eating my ass up. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. And a lot of this has caused me to lose business opportunities and fumble bags, just because maybe I merely wasn't paying enough attention. And I could have fixed something before it got too late. But because I was in my own head, or because I was on the brink of giving up myself, I let it slip away. And as much as I want to beat myself up for that, mentally I'm exhausted. Mentally I'm tired. And maybe I do need to take a step back. So we get through June and July. And my grandmother's birthday is August 31st. And we were planning for that because my grandma turned 80 this year. And, you know, we were excited because she's, you know, she made 80. And if y'all only understood half of the stuff that we were faced with as a family, then y'all will understand why we were so excited about her making it to 80. So we're preparing for that. We have been preparing for weeks, months. We're preparing. We're trying to get it together. I'm trying to get her together. I'm trying to make sure, gauging her, how well is she gonna do this day, or just making sure my job solely to make sure that she's okay mentally, not just okay, but great, good, that she's here, or whatever. So yeah, my grandmother's birthday was on a Wednesday. The Saturday before that, I was my mom was over at my grandma's house. My sister was there, and one of my sister's really good friends was over. And my mom was getting ready to leave, and so I walked her outside, and we go outside, and there's a fire truck outside. And we could see that, like, someone, like, literally, my grandma's house is right here. The house right across the street from her. We could see that it looks like someone is literally in the trees with a flashlight looking for something. And me joking as hell, or somebody that fell off the bridge or something like that, or whatever like that. Trying to be nosy, but I knew it wasn't too serious because it weren't any ambulance. It was just a fire truck, no police officers or nothing. It was just a fire truck, and that happened around 11 o'clock. I go in the house, my mama leaves, my sister, our friend, leaves. I get ready for bed, and I lay down. The next morning, I get up to take my friend to work, and she's telling me about how, did you hear about the big old wreck or whatever that happened? And I'm like, nah, because at this point, it's like 6 o'clock in the morning. I barely open my eyes. But she's like, did you hear about the big old wreck that happened on the bypass? And mind you, there's literally, like, my grandma, like, the bypass is right here. My grandma stays right here. And I'm like, no. And so then she says a name. And when she says a name, I'm like, nah, that can't be the person that I know, whatever like that, because he fine. So the day goes on, she's talking about it. I'm just like, man, that's crazy. Like, folks need to be more careful, whatever like that. Just not knowing the severity of the situation. So I drop her off, and by the time I make it back to the house, my best friend texts me, and she's like, are you okay? And so at that point, in the back of my mind, I'm doubting it, because it can't be him. It can't be him. No. You know what I'm saying? It can't be him. But when she texts me, I was like, okay, so this is really happening. So, of course, by that time, I'm on Facebook, and I'm seeing these rest in peace pictures. And, of course, the news clips and the news articles about what had happened. And I'm just like, no, no. I'm like, this can't be real. To make a long story short, and I don't want to say too much because I want to be as respectful as possible. Me and this particular person, we had been in contact off and on since I had been in 9th grade. But the last time we talked was last year, April. And usually he reaches out to me, and he checks on me, and it's how you doing, and you come to town, I want to make sure that I see you, and all this other stuff. And he's gone. And so for the first couple of days, because at this point I'm in autopilot, you know what I'm saying? I'm just working. It's still my grandma's birthday week, and we still gotta make sure that her birthday is a success. Part of me doesn't even want to believe it's real to begin with. And the second part of me just cannot deal with emotions like that right now. So I get through Monday, Tuesday. My grandma's birthday, like I said, is that Wednesday. We get through Wednesday. You know, she's happy. The party is at Saturday. His balloon release was that Friday. And I go to the balloon release, and at that point it hits me that this is really happening and that he is really gone. And it hurts, to say the least. So I can only imagine what his family is going through, how his kids feel, his friends, you know what I'm saying? People that talk to him on a daily basis, you know what I'm saying? Because it hurt me a lot. It hurt me more than I thought it would. And part of that is because you don't even, when people pass, it's always, for the most part, unexpected, especially with a situation like this, because he was taken out. You know what I'm saying? I told myself maybe it would have been easier to process had it just been a regular accident. But this wasn't a regular accident. So that happens. And it's just something else to add to the punches that I'm being hit with. And at that point, it's a decline. It's a literal decline. Because regardless of how long it had been since we talked, you know, touch and go, he would always come back. He would always come around. If I needed him, he would show up. And I just wish that I would have just one more conversation. So that happens. And here we are. And a part of me is just really, really regretful, because I've been in my hometown since January. And then, I won't say didn't think to, because he did. He crossed my mind quite a few times. He crossed my mind maybe a week before he passed away. And maybe that was God's way of telling me, you know, it's your last chance. And for me to let that slip hurts. And I feel like, I don't know what I feel. Honestly. Because part of me wants to go numb. Parts of me still doesn't want to accept the fact that that even happened. And part of me feels like everything is just too much. Part of me feels like, for the longest time, I've allowed my emotions to get the best of me. To the point to where I can't even process. Literally, I'm on autopilot, doing my day-to-day, just trying to get the next task done. Sometimes forgetting that I'm running a business. Sometimes forgetting that I have other responsibilities, because I can't fathom. And as much as I wanted today to be an upbeat day because it's October, it's Libra season, you know, this is my birthday month, it's spooky season, fall is here, we in the fourth quarter, life is beating my ass. And I promise y'all, I try to put on a brave face. And I know my crowd is smaller. You know what I'm saying? I know my platforms are smaller. But even still, I try my best to give y'all content. I try to put my creative foot forward. I try to be entertaining and still be real at the same time. I try to give my best even though, you know, I'm still at square one. Because I tell myself that you get better as you progress. But this is real. This is raw. And I'm so tired. And I can't even, if I sat here and went into detail, this video would be entirely too long. If I went play by play, day by day, action by action, this video would be entirely too long to make y'all fully understand the extent of where I am right now. And no, this is not me trying to come on here and looking for pity or reassurance or anything like that. This is me giving the people that watch me an explanation as to where I've been. Life is real. Life is happening. And as much as I want every day to be an awesome day, every day is not an awesome day. As much as I want to remain as positive as possible, every day is not positive. Every day is not, it's not none of that. And I'm trying. I'm trying. I really am trying. I don't want to say that this is goodbye because I want to be able to finish what I started, you know? I want to be able to continue. I don't even want to say I'm about to take, I just gave y'all this video just for me to take another break because I don't want to take another break. I want, you know, this channel to be successful. I want my audience to grow. I want to be able to share my life experiences with new people that really need them. But I'm tired, man. Year 24. I can't even say like 2021, 2022. Year 24. I thought 23 was hard. 24 came around. I was like, you know, I know it started off rough, but I'm gonna get this one in the bag. You know, I'm gonna really make myself proud. Forget making other people proud. I'm gonna make myself proud. I thought a lot of stuff was taken from me year 23, but year 24, I thought I was taking hits before, But this shit right here, and I want to say, let's go get back to the bag, y'all. I want to say, let's prove everybody wrong that ever doubted us. I want to say, we're going to go out here and get it. We're going to make everybody a believer. I want to say it's turn up time. I want to say it's beast mode. I want to say go step on these niggas' necks. I want to say all of that. And maybe tomorrow will be a new day. Maybe next week will be a good week. But today, I'm tired. I'm exhausted. And I literally feel like the weight of the world is on my shoulders. Hopefully and prayerfully, maybe I just have to start back out smaller. This is going to be a longer video, but, you know, maybe for the next few weeks, the videos have to be smaller. You know, just to get y'all something of decent quality. Not something just thrown together, but something, you know, that doesn't take too much on my mental. I'm going to end this video right here before it gets sadder than it already is. I know this was heavy. I know this was a lot. And I truly apologize because it's not my intention to put my burdens on other people. But I'm trying. And I apologize. And I'm praying for better days for y'all just as well as myself. And you have to remind yourself that even when it feels like you're not going to get through it, that you will. So, I'll see you guys on the next video. Evetober has officially started. And honestly, we on this life journey together. So, I guess we just have to see what's going to happen together.